Guys, bonjour à tous. Quick thing, I'm just a little bit ahead because I want to make sure that the issue that I had last week won't happen this time. So what I'll try to do is to have the stream next to me so that I can see if it actually goes as intended. Last week was a bit of a struggle. I didn't notice for about 45 minutes until someone told me that actually only me was on the screen. Nobody could see any of the graphics and illustration that I was sharing with everybody. So this time, I hope it works. It seems to be working actually. Actually, only me was on the screen. One thing I need to take the sound down. That's the bare minimum. What? Okay, so it seems to be working. The other good thing is that I'll probably see the comments in near real time this time. I don't know. I'm just checking what the delay is. It's pretty long actually. It's about, I would say, 2 or 3 minutes, maybe 1 or 2 minutes. Okay. So I hope you're ready. I hope you have your coffee for today. And I think maybe it's a good time to start. It's 10:16. I said that I have a lot to unpack today. The reason is that there's a lot more of geopolitical activity at this time. It seems to be the pace of new news threats from both sides is picking up again, so which again puts such more at risk of having a global conflict at this time. So I will go into this, but let's start with. Can I do this? Yeah, maybe I can, or I can't. I don't know, or whatever. Okay, let's do this. Maybe you see this. So gold is the background on this one because that's the story of this week. Gold making new all-time highs, but this is something that we'll check again. So welcome to the Croissant Files. You're there now. Don't forget to put your questions in the comments if you have any. If you don't, that's fine. Just be aware that I usually receive the comments you put on LinkedIn with a delay. It seems that it's delayed both on my restream and the LinkedIn that I have on the site. So please, if someone is here and can send a message so that I can see how much delayed it is. But anyway, so let's go. So the Croissant Files. Where do we start? 9/11 celebrations, obviously. Everyone remembers where they were at this time. I certainly do. I was in the trading room in Paris, the SG trading room, equity derivative trading room, and everyone was watching the TV. We just couldn't believe what we were seeing. It really felt like a movie at this time. I just wanted to give a quick comment on this. Because what I found interesting this time, there was a lot more, and when I lot, this is most exclusively what I've seen about people question the official narrative of 9/11, all the things that are wrong in the official report, and over the years, this is the first time that I've seen so many people questioning the official narrative. I believe that it's because of the times that we've seen recently between narrative, misinformation, and everyone, and people start questioning everything, which I believe is a very good thing. So let's move on this. Other important stuff, even this week, was the debate. It's interesting, both sides think they have won the debate. The only difference is that Kamala Harris seems to be wanting another debate. Like they said, usually the guy that didn't do well usually wants a rematch. It's not sure this will happen. Actually, we'll see about that. But the two things that we can see here, I think that the main point of this debate was that Kamala Harris did actually a lot better than expected. Everyone knows her making gaffe after gaffe during interviews. This is not what she did this time. She was very well prepared for this debate. The other thing that struck me about this, everyone played their part, so that there was no kind of surprise. There was one funny thing though I may mention after, but yes, what I wanted to say is that both try to appeal on their side. The thing is that honestly, I didn't know who won the debate after the debate, just because Kamala Harris did much better than expected, and Trump as usual, a very good communicant, very good in that kind of situation. Anyway, but the thing is that I believe she kind of lost some of her support at this time when she denied supporting fracking, which is true. When she responded by prosecuting the foreign gangs in the U.S., but at the same time keeping the border open. So there's a lot of situations like this where, when she mentioned, for instance, that she doesn't want to attack the Second Amendment first, and mentioning that she has a gun and Tim Walz has a gun as well. So it seems that she lost a little bit of support at this time with this. On her side, she obviously didn't gain anyone on Trump's side, and they were doing live polls during the debate, and most of them for the independent side was going to Trump. So I didn't check the polls after that. It seems that Kamala Harris lost a little bit on her side, but I'm just not certain about that. So I will keep that in mind. But the other point that I wanted to mention about this, and then finish there, is that she seemed to have, when I said that she was well prepared, she seemed to have learned lines to be responding like an actor, basically. Anytime she was asking a question, she was responding on the topic, but not to the question. And she was giving her lines. And what struck me is that I watched the after debate a little bit, and Kamala Harris went on stage with her supporter, and what really struck me is that she gave exactly the same lines as she gave during the debate, which means that she actually learned them. And what's even more striking is that she again gave these lines on some of their tweets. So it was an act. Well prepared, but I think this was not the kind of debate that people are expecting. Funny thing is, we see Taylor Swift that came after the debate supporting Kamala Harris with her cat. So obviously, the funniest moment of the debate was Trump saying that Haitian immigrants are eating cats. No, well, yeah, there's no actual report about this. I don't think so. I don't see any. Some cats, whatever about the cats. But the most disturbing thing is that on X, for instance, which is the last platform where you can have kind of free information, there was a lot of people sharing some voodoo practice from Haiti, and involving cats, for instance. So I will leave it at that. I will let you search for it if you want, but it's pretty disturbing. I wouldn't advise you to watch if you are not strong enough. Let's put it that way. So you have Taylor Swift on one side. On the other side, you have the adjusted to inflation household income. And when you ask yourself, are you better today than you were 4 years ago? Maybe you can say, I'm as well. But the other, if you compare to the Trump presidency, people are much better after the Trump presidency than they were before the Trump presidency. Um, Okay, let's move on. Enough of the debate. You probably have seen more than enough on TV, on the web already. So, what else? Yeah, now we are moving to the U.S., Pentagon, Ukraine, and all that stuff. Pentagon here, why? Because the Pentagon has released, I think it was yesterday, or well, at least this week, a classified report on the U.S. strategy on Ukraine to the Congress 3 months late. I mean, it's insane. This is a war we are involved in. They're supposed to send a report on the situation in Ukraine and their strategy, which basically should be already an existing document. And they only give this to Congress only 3 months late. I mean, which questions if they actually have a strategy. I mean, obviously, most of the Congress members are totally pissed off about that. It just shows you again that the democratic representation of the people is kind of a theater, if you ask me. But it is what I mean. It will just strike me. It's just insane. Beside that, on strategy about on Ukraine, you've probably seen that the U.S. is thinking about giving Ukraine long range weapons to be able to strike wide inside Russia, which is a major escalation. I don't think that the Russians would let it fly. This will probably trigger a response by Russians. I will get back into that later. But I believe it's really a major escalation at this point. Just not only saying this, but if they actually do this. Still no comment here, so I cannot check if anyone, the delay. So if someone is here, please share a comment so that I can check the difference. Thank you. Other interesting thing is that the Pentagon has commissioned, well, no, has launched. What is it? A request for companies to do studies on the impact of nuclear weapons on the agricultural sector of Eastern Europe countries and Russia. Basically, it's okay. If we launch a bomb there, what would be the long-term consequences? Just to give you an idea, basically, the media doesn't talk about it, but I think we've never been close than today to major global conflict, World War III, basically. So next, so license to strike deep inside Russia, which would be the case, obviously, if the United States delivers these weapons. On the front side, basically what happens is what I've mentioned the weeks before. Russia is still gaining ground on the eastern front, and now they have decided that the Kursk incursion of Ukraine to Russia should end, and so they have started a counter attack, and they are regaining ground inside the Kursk region. I have no idea, obviously, how long it will take, but they are making progress basically on both sides. Again, I mean, I have no idea what was their intent with that kind of action. I've explained that multiple times, so I won't go into it anyway. Um, I think that the fact that Russia is making progress on the Eastern Front and is taking back some of the region in crooks right now, I believe that the West might be concerned by a collapse of Ukraine, a rapid collapse at this point, if they don't deliver these long-range weapons, and basically they are ready to make an escalation, a global escalation, just because of the risk of collapse of Ukraine. I think this is a kind of a move of desperation from NATO at this point. Maybe we can move on. What is? I mean, and this, this continues. The the situation in Ukraine and Russia continues to generate tension between Europeans. You see that the article by Politico saying that Poland sabotage investigation into Nord Stream explosion. They even go as far to say that Poland and Ukraine participated together in blowing up the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, which had obviously massive consequences on the German economy that is really struggling right now. Because, the economy, there's one French economist that always says that economy is energy transformed. And specifically, you have a good economy if you have cheap energy transformed. And what this did, I mean, the blow up of Nord Stream 2 is to remove the cheap energy access from Russia to Germany, which explains why the German economy is struggling at this time. So I have a comment, and I still don't see it here. That's interesting. Um, Yeah, I know. Yeah, I want to be clear. I don't say that they eat the cats. I'm just saying that they are. Uh, well, I've seen this week after the debate, obviously, some voodoo rituals involving cats. But I believe that but I believe that a lot of cats in Miami are alive. Maybe what 2 3 years ago, I don't remember exactly. But thank you. no, 15 years ago, yeah, more than 15 years ago. It's half of it. I mean, what an employer pays to global, what the global, well, sorry about that. I'm losing my English. It's getting tough. So what an employer pays, a total compensation, half goes to the employee and the other half goes to the government. Oh, I can see that I'm back on screen. I have no idea why. This thing is totally random. It is what it is. But I'm happy to see you guys. um, So next, what we have here is you've probably seen in the economic news that the yield curve has stopped inverting, which every time it signaled a recession and a drop in the market jobs economy. Drops in jobs and basically the economy not doing well. I've been saying this again for weeks and months. The actual economic signals that we get from the industry itself is not good in terms of jobs, in terms of bankruptcies, like I just mentioned. So basically, is this the start of the recession that we'll see after now the yield curve has stopped inverting? As a reminder, this was the longest inversion in history. So there's no statistics about if the long or less longer inversion of the yield curve has any impact on the following recession itself. But as you can see, over the last 4 years, I think at the exception of one single instance, it has always been followed by a recession. So the other risk that we have, obviously, is if we have inflation starting again. That would be a disaster. I will try to, I don't want to go back there. Oh, maybe, what if I do this? I just wanted to show you the right part of the bottom chart, because these are the industrial production, and basically what you can see here is that at the start of Obama, which coincided with the great financial crisis in 2008. I mean, the industrial production went flat at this point, and it didn't much progress, whether basically it was Obama, Trump, or Biden at this point. So again, another signal directly from the industry that is not looking extremely good. So now we go to the market. What time is it? 11:01 already. Yeah, thank you, Atilio. Yeah, I can see. I reappeared in the video. It's insane. I mean, so I tried the other tool. I don't even remember what it was before. It was not optimal. It didn't work much for me. Now, with Restream, it went well for quite a few weeks, I would say. Now I have issues again. I just don't know. I just don't know what happens. And I mean, the issue is that you cannot stream directly into LinkedIn, which would be much easier. You have to go through a third party, but so I have to find another way to do this. So now we're going to the market. So I will change the banner at the bottom, which is that everything that I say is not an investment advice, my friend. It's just my is the connection lost? Okay, I'm back. It looked like the connection was lost for some reason. That's another issue this side that I didn't have with the other one. But anyway, so you've seen I've changed my banner at the bottom. This is not an investment advice. This is for information only. So what do we get? You've seen a pretty green week at this point. It's just I don't think it's really meaningful at this time, because what we have, we have a lot of volatility. Last week was a down week, this week was an up week, so we are going into swings like this, pretty huge, no, not huge, significant compared to what we are used to now. The thing is that I think that the most interesting part right now is this. So we have the S&P reaching the top. So we have the S&P reaching the top. I mean, it's below the logo. It's insane. Well, anyway, so we are reaching new all-time highs, not going up there. We have the Nasdaq at the bottom, going back to its downward resistance. There is a kind, we have a small divergence between the S&P and the Nasdaq at this point. But my point is that we have bigger volatility now to what we have been used to for, let's say, since the bottom of the most recent downtrend was 2002, and the recovery after that. So very low volatility that we have now. The type of increased volatility, usually volatility increase when there is indecision. This is the kind of thing that can happen at tops, for instance. So we are at all-time highs. So the next week will be, I would say, pretty critical. With what we call in French la palissade, which means that something that is Mr. Obvious, probably in English, which says that we either go up, which would be a positive sign if we can break all-time highs on the S&P, but we might also go down again, which would be another rejection of an all-time high. So that would be interesting, because we are kind of the crossroads from there. Where do we go from there? So we'll have the Fed decision. We'll have numbers about now that the yield curve has stopped inverting. This will be really a crossroad for the market at this point. Oh shit, maybe I can do this. No, not this. I'm having fun, as you can see. So that's why the what I had the other time was working better. Anyway, so the volatility is being crushed this time. I would say kind of usual. It's not impossible that we go for another spike of volatility this coming week, and maybe a down move. Maybe I can just do this. You don't have to see me. Nobody cares about me. You have bonds going up. I mean, yes, you have interest rates supposedly going down, but at the same time we have inflation, and you have to remember that bonds are still risk of assets, and that I believe has to be correlated to the rise in gold. Recently, this week, that is let's say a risk of asset as well. Again, I mean, we'll have to see what happens with inflation, which will have a direct impact on bonds. What do we have next? Gold is the story of the week. By the last 2 days, breaking out on the upside. with apparently a new trend developing. We'll see if that works, but there's a potential to go much higher, in my opinion, at this point. Potential, remember, not an investment advice. Need to take all the precautions that I need when I speak about the market. But what's interesting is that what's the reason for gold going up? We are said the current narrative is that we are kind of best economy ever. We don't need a 50 bips pricing. We only need the 25 bips pricing, or that's at least what the markets are pricing at this time, only 25 bips. Nobody cares about the geopolitical risk that we've talked about, extensively at the beginning of this Croissant Files live. You have volatility receding as well. You have inflation going down. At the moment, there's no recession expected in 2024, so everything looks good. However, gold is trending up. So what does it tell us? Maybe it goes back to the story that I've mentioned in the economic part, which is the kind of loss or, well, diminishing status of the US dollar as a reserve currency. I mean, it's difficult to explain. Gold is a store of value and a safe haven in really with the narrative that we are given. So I think that's the biggest story of this week. What makes me think about a potential reason for gold going up, not only the store of value, but mostly the loss of value of the dollar, is obviously this guy, Bitcoin. Bitcoin rallied again last week. So basically, if you don't want US dollar, so you have gold option, obviously. Bitcoin is, to me, a currency, not that you can use, but to me, it's still a store of value. So potentially that can be used as this. This might be what Bitcoin may telling us as well, a very similar message as I just mentioned, that it's giving for that gold is giving us. So I will let you think about that, but this is my point. And the last one, I wanted to share this with you because it's interesting. You know that the yen is really strengthening at this point, which is linked to carry trade and wind. It's interesting for what, in the context of carry trade and wind, but we won't go back because we've talked about this extensively. I discovered a guy that I didn't know before through an interview of a guy that I'm following on LinkedIn. Interviewed this guy. What's his name? Jason Shapiro, maybe. I forgot the name already. But I watched the video, and he explained his approach of trading, which I find is great. Why it is great specifically for me? Because he tends to capture trend reversals. By looking at the commitment of trader reports when the markets are overcrowded. Basically, well, you can check his name. It's Jason Shapiro, and he runs a website called overcrowded market report, I believe. I hope I'm well. This guy is a very good trader. He has been doing this for a very long time. But what's interesting for me with that kind of approach, it can identify, market turnarounds. I mean, the commitment of traders reports can be used as a tool for risk management and for direct strategy. And I wanted to give you this because, it shows basically that the speculators were massively short yen right before the turnaround of the yen, when the yen started to strengthen against the US dollar. I mean, on the top left, you have the yen versus the US dollar, and the other chart, the big chart, is the dollar versus the yen. So that's why it's inverted. But the point is that it was overcrowded on the short side, which means that when it happens like this, I mean, there's very little strength left to push the market further. Environment for a reversal. And I think I've lost the connection. Maybe. Yes. I'm waiting for it to come back. So yeah, so it's back. So as you can see here, is when you have overcrowded markets, so specifically on the short side for the yen, because of the trade, the carry trade. Here you can identify your bottom, but this is where everyone was massively like this, like we had recently, and we have the massive turnaround in the US dollar here. So now, I mean, today what's interesting is that we have gone massively short yen to not massively, but significantly positive early long yen. So it's not side because, again, of the carry trade bias in short position. Seems to be overcrowded on the long side compared to previous instances like this one here in 2020, like the one that we had in 2016. So you have that kind of event. So I thought that it was an interesting thing to share with you, specifically about markets. I think that I will try to work on this, to integrate this, which will be another layer to my risk management system. Probably I will check and we'll do some research if I can use this as a counter trend element, because as far as I know, this is how investors are using the strategy of this trader to to mitigate the reversions in trend following allocation. So given that I'm a momentum trend following based manager, a lot of momentum, a lot of trends in what I do for reasons I've explained in the past. But I think that it could be a great addition, and it's worth spending some time researching it. So we've spent an hour now here. We spent an hour, so I think it's time to go and let you go to your weekend. What can I say? Just reviewing back what I've shared. Um, did I miss anything that I wanted to say? Maybe not. I said a lot already. I won't comment back on the cats. I mean, this this is the most insane election cycle that I've ever witnessed. You know, what are we talking about? We're talking about cats, pets, voodoo stuff, and no one talks about policies. We have no idea about what we'll be doing in the next 4 years. The Pentagon has no idea about the strategy in Ukraine. I mean, it's totally insane. So look at what we are talking about versus look at what is happening in the world. It's just totally insane. I think I never seen it. We've reached peaked insanity in terms of politics. That makes it very fun to watch. I mean, it's a show. I mean, I always say that the U.S. politics is the biggest show ever. I mean, you would never be able to script that. But the problem is that we as Americans are paying the consequences. And we as Americans are paying the consequences, but everyone around the world is paying the consequences as well. So it's funny, but we should maybe not laugh that much at it and do something about having leaders that are more concerned about what we are living. To me, for the next election, there is one that is more concerned than the other, despite the way he is portrayed. But that just me. You know, you have to choose between two. One is just totally an impossible choice. This is my opinion. I will leave you like this on the weekend. And I thank you for being here again. Sorry again about the issues, technical issues. Again, like I said, I will be doing some tests. So we'll pollute my feed and probably yours with some video tests to see, to check what works and what doesn't, to get rid of these streaming platforms if I can. If I cannot, maybe we'll go like this another week until I find something. Well, thank you again. Enjoy your weekend.